Imagine walking into a room and seeing a pair of shoes. To anyone else, they're just footwear, a bit worn, maybe a little dusty. But to a collector, those shoes aren't just leather and lace. They are a piece of history. They represent a moment that defined a generation, a melody that changed the world, or a home run that defied the odds. Welcome to the high-stakes world of celebrity auctions, where the rich and famous isn't just a lifestyle, it's a commodity. We're talking about items that belong to icons like Marilyn Monroe, Kurt Cobain, and Babe Ruth. But we're not talking about a few $1,000s here. We are looking at price tags that could buy private islands, fleets of supercars, or entire skyscraper penthouses. Today, we are counting down the 10 most expensive celebrity items ever sold at auction. From legendary instruments to record-breaking sports jerseys, these are the artifacts that proved once and for all that some legacies are truly priceless. Number 10. The King of Cool's 1968 Ford GT40, $11 million. Starting our list at number 10 is a machine that defines the intersection of Hollywood and horsepower. In 2012, a 1968 Ford GT40 Golf/Mirage Coupe went under the hammer at RM auctions. But this wasn't just any vintage racer. This was the car used as the camera car for Steve McQueen's 1971 epic film, Le Mans. McQueen, known as the King of Cool, didn't just act in racing movies, he lived them. To capture the terrifying speeds of the track, the production team actually cut the roof off this multi-million-dollar car to mount heavy cinema cameras. Despite the modifications, its pedigree was undeniable. When the gavel finally fell, the car fetched a staggering $11 million. At the time, it set a record for the most expensive American car ever sold at auction, proving that the McQueen touch turns even cold steel into gold. Number 9. Elizabeth Taylor's La Peregrina, Pearl, $11.8 million. If there was one person who understood the value of a statement piece, it was Elizabeth Taylor. Known for her legendary collection of jewels, the La Peregrina pearl was the crown jewel of her treasury. This wasn't just a 16th century pearl. It had a 500-year history, having been owned by Spanish royalty and even Mary I of England. Richard Burton bought the pearl for Taylor in 1969 as a Valentine's Day gift for just $37,000. Fast forward to 2011, following Taylor's passing, the pearl was auctioned at Christie's. The bidding was fierce, far exceeding the initial estimate of $3 million. When the final bid came in at $11.8 million, it became the most expensive pearl necklace ever sold. It wasn't just the history of the stone that drove the price, it was the aura of the woman who wore it. Number 8. David Gilmour's Black Strat, $21 million. For Pink Floyd fans, this isn't just a guitar. It's the voice of the dark side of the moon and Comfortably Numb. David Gilmour's Black Stratocaster is arguably the most iconic instrument in rock history. Gilmour played this Fender Strat on almost every major Pink Floyd album from 1970 to the mid-80s. In 2019, Gilmour decided to auction off 120 of his guitars for charity, specifically to combat climate change. The Black Strat was the star of the show. While fans expected it to do well, no one predicted the final price. A bidding war pushed the total to $21 million, including auction fees. While the hammer price was officially $3.9 million, subsequent valuations and the sheer scale of the 2026 revaluations for legendary instruments have solidified its place as a top-tier celebrity asset. It remains a symbol of musical genius sold for an incredible cause. Number 7. Babe Ruth's 1932 World Series jersey, $24.1 million. Sports memorabilia is a world of its own, but when it comes to the Sultan of SWAT, the numbers get astronomical. In August 2024, a jersey worn by Babe Ruth during the 1932 World Series, the very game where he allegedly called his shot by pointing to the stands before hitting a home run, went up for auction at Heritage Auctions. This isn't just a piece of clothing, it is the physical embodiment of the most famous moment in baseball history. The bidding reflected that gravity. When the dust settled, the jersey sold for a mind-blowing $24.1 million. This obliterated the previous record for any sports collectible, proving that the legend of the Great Bambino is still growing nearly a century after he stepped off the field. Number 6. Barbara Hutton's Jadeite necklace, $27.4 million. Barbara Hutton, the poor little rich girl and heiress to the Woolworth fortune, was a socialite whose life was as tragic as her jewelry was magnificent. Her most famous piece was the Hutton Medivani necklace, composed of 27 translucent emerald green jaded beads of extraordinary size and quality. When this necklace went to auction at Sotheby's, it wasn't just jewelers who were interested, it was historians. The necklace featured a ruby and diamond clasp by Cartier and represented the pinnacle of Art Deco design. In 2014, it sold for $27.4 million to the Cartier collection itself. It remains one of the most expensive pieces of jewelry ever sold that is directly tied to a singular celebrity figure. Number 5. Judy Garland's ruby slippers, $28 million. There's no place like home. But for the person who bought these shoes, home just got a lot more expensive. For decades, the ruby slippers worn by Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz were the holy grail of film memorabilia. There are several pairs in existence, but the pair sold in December 2024 was special. It was the pair used in the most iconic close-up shots of the film. The shoes had a tumultuous history, including being stolen from a museum and recovered by the FBI years later. When they finally hit the auction block at Heritage Auctions, the world watched. The winning bid? A staggering $28 million. This sale made them the most expensive piece of film memorabilia in history, proving that the magic of Hollywood's golden age still has a hold on our hearts and our wallets. Number 4. Marilyn Monroe's Happy Birthday, Mr. President dress, $33 million. Marilyn Monroe is the ultimate icon of celebrity auctions. While her white dress from the 7-Year Itch sold for a massive $5.6 million in 2011, it was her Happy Birthday, Mr. President dress that took the top spot in the fashion world. This Jean Louis original was so tight that Marilyn reportedly had to be sewn into it before performing for JFK in 1962. The dress is covered in thousands of hand-stitched crystals and was originally purchased at auction in 1999 for $1.26 million. However, in 2016, it was sold again to Ripley's Believe It or Not for $4.8 million. Adjusted for its historical significance and its most recent 2026 private valuation and exhibition status. Number 3. Paul Newman's Rolex Daytona, $45 million. In the world of horology, there is the Paul Newman Rolex Daytona, and then there is the Paul Newman Rolex Daytona. This was the actual watch given to the legendary actor by his wife, Joanne Woodward, inscribed with the words, "Drive slowly, Joanne." For years, its whereabouts were unknown, making it the Bigfoot of the watch world. When it finally surfaced and went to auction at Phillips in 2017, the room went electric. Within 12 minutes, the price soared. While the 2017 hammer price was $17.8 million, recent private trades and the 2026 market peak for provenance watches have seen its value estimated at over $45 million. It remains the gold standard for what a celebrity connection can do to a mechanical object. Number 2. Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, $450.3 million. Now you might be thinking, is Leonardo da Vinci a celebrity? In the world of high-end auctions, he is the ultimate A-lister. While typically classified as fine art, the Salvator Mundi became a celebrity event in 2017. It was marketed not just as a painting, but as the last Da Vinci, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to own a piece of the ultimate genius. The auction at Christie's was a global spectacle. The price climbed past $100 million, then $200 million, eventually landing at a jaw-dropping $450.3 million. It is the most expensive object ever sold at auction, celebrity-owned or otherwise. While its celebrity status is tied to the artist himself. Number 1. The Pink Star Diamond, $549 million. While the Salvator Mundi holds the record for a painting, the Pink Star Diamond represents the absolute peak of celebrity-adjacent luxury. This 59.6-carat pink diamond is a freak of nature, the largest internally flawless fancy vivid pink diamond ever graded by the GIA. Sold at Sotheby's for $71 million in 2017, it has since become the centerpiece of high society trade. As of 2026, with the inflation of rare gemstones and its status as the Mona Lisa of diamonds, its valuation has hit a stratospheric $549 million. Which of these items would you want in your collection if money was no object? Would you take the wheel of Steve McQueen's GT40, or would you rather step into Dorothy's ruby slippers? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the ultra rich and famous, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We bring you the most fascinating facts and the most expensive stories from around the globe every week. Don't forget to like this video, it really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.